Welcome back to another installment or episode, or whatever these are, of Waterbuck, your all-around fishing and hunting channel. Today, we're getting the chance to fish at Shelburne Pond, hoping to catch some bass and maybe some northern pike. The water's still pretty cold right now, so that means the fish are going to be moving slowly and the bass are going to be wicked finicky, so I'm going to have to do a lot of finesse fishing. So for my three baits I'm thinking about today mainly are going to be my crankbait from my previous episode, also a drop shot with one of the soft plastic worms for my big bite baits, and I'm also thinking about a rugby jig with the Christie Craws with one of those rugby jigs, and I'm really hoping it works out. I'm gonna go eat some lunch though so I can fuel my body up for kayaking around the pond. I've honestly never fished on a kayak here, and I've never fished in this cold water here. I've always gone on the shore. My grandparents actually live right next to the pond, so I kind of know where the fish are, but I also kind of don't. And that's what makes it a little bit exciting for me, is that I'm going to do something completely new, but I still think I'm going to be able to catch some fish. We finally made it. We made it to the pond. This is one of my favorite ponds to fish. It's honestly so beautiful to be able to be on the water out here. Always bring hydration. This is my first bait that I'm going to put on top. This is a Christie Craw jig. Finally made it out on the water, got everything unpacked and stuff, and got my Christie Craw jig set up. Let's go catch some fish. So, tried the Christie Craw, and as you can tell, my presentation wasn't that well. This is honestly my first time really jigging. I don't jig that much. I generally just use regular real worms, and I've been watching YouTube videos and I've seen that jigging works really well, so I wanted to give it a try. I gave this a shot, and right now I'm just thinking that once the weather's a little bit warmer, it might be easier for me to practice my jigging. But one thing I do know that I can do really well is spinner baits and crankbaits. I've definitely done crankbaits and spinner baits before. So I'm switching over to my KBD by Strike King. This is the one that my girlfriend picked out. And again, I want to thank her, because without her, I honestly wouldn't have been able to make these videos at all. And she's the one videotaping right now behind the camera. So I'm gonna hook this guy up and see if I can catch any fish. to start on this rock ledge over here with my crankbait and work my way down over to this other point on this other rock ledge. And I'm hoping I get some bites. If I don't get any bites by the other point, I'm going to switch baits. I think I'm going to go to a drop shot, just kind of throw it right in front of them, especially with this slow fishing right now. You know, it might just be hanging it right in front of their faces and having them want to bite it in the deeper waters. When I see a bass jump, that's pretty good luck, because right now with the cold water, bass are going to kind of be in schools. Whoops. Knowing that and seeing a bass jump, that means that there's probably a good amount of fish around here. So I'm trying to cast over where I just saw this bass jump. Let's see if I can catch him. I got about 2 or 3 bites so far out of 5 casts. So I'm feeling... Oh, come on. No.
Oh, you can see it.
So I've been out here. We got out at 1:30, and I've tried 3 different things. It's about 5 o'clock now. Tried 3 different lures. So I'm going to my last attempt. As you can tell, I'm a little bummed. I haven't caught any fish, but I've seen fish. I saw a perch over against the water over here, right over here. But he didn't want anything with my jig or anything like that. I just tried a drop shot for about an hour and a half in the same area, and that didn't work either. So I'm now setting up a nice Texas rig, and I just came up with a really good idea. I only had these big sinkers that have these, I don't even know what they are. I'd call them almost anchors to hook to your line. But for a Texas rig, you want the sinker to go through the line. So what I did was on the bottom here, right here, I just slipped it right by this little anchor. Now I have the first start to my Texas rig. It's my finished Texas rig. On a different body of water. We just saw a bald eagle fly overhead that I'll show you after this. Messed up. I can tell that these worms were $1. They're falling apart pretty easily. Did I get that on video?
Yep.
They're great baits. So the reason they call it finesse fishing, I just figured this out. Remember, I'm new to jigging, so bear with me. I'm figuring this out as I go. But I think at least what I'm going to tell myself is that the reason they call it finesse fishing is because you want to keep it right on the bottom. And that means you want it to kind of skip across the bottom like this. You want to keep it down there. You want to keep it on the bottom. But you don't want to cut. You can sometimes. You want to jig it where it comes up and then comes down. But you want to keep it lower because you want to be able to feel that bottom. And that's where the bass are going to be, especially right now. I'm gently just going to finesse it. I want to feel the bottom, feel what I'm going around. I can feel there's some rocks, a couple other things. Now you don't want to like sit here and be like trying to get it to jig up. Again, you just really lightly want to take that rod and finesse. Go a little undershot. No, just kidding. That's it for today's video. You know, I didn't catch any fish, but again, really nothing wrong with not catching fish. You get to come out and you get to be out in nature and be out in wildlife, and there's really nothing better than that. And my biggest point of this show isn't really to, you know, just be catching fish all the time, or to, you know, every time I hunt to get anything. It's really to show the truth of what hunting is and really show the truth of fishing. And I feel like a lot of those other shows just show that, you know, you're just automatically going to go out and you're going to catch fish. That's really not what's going to happen. You're going to have days that you're not going to catch fish. But the best thing to do is to always stay positive, because you always know next time, or there's tomorrow, or whenever you're going to go fishing again. There's really always things to be positive about. That's the end of today's show. I will see you next time. Right over here is a beautiful brown tree that's currently growing off the side of a rock. This tree right here has a little hole in the bottom. That hole must mean that there was a little critter trying to jump up there.